spoiler, everybody.
Yes, spoiler, just so if you didn't know, there are people who don't procreate with just white people.
I know who she's rooting for, and you do too. The one and only Issa Rae is in the Variety studio. I am so excited that you're here, and it's been a minute since
It's been a minute. It's been like 2 years.
Yeah, I know. That was a moment that we
2 years. It was definitely a moment. Who could have anticipated that?
Who are you rooting for tonight?
I'm rooting for everybody black. I remember like not even really wanting to do the carpet or go.
I remember fighting for the interview. I was like flagging your publicist. I was like, can you just get her over here? I just need to talk to her real quick.
So dope.
And now you're doing movies.
How's your article coming?
To be honest, I was a little distracted.
We've got The Photograph. How did you find your way into this movie?
Stella McGee wrote and directed The Photograph, and I had worked with her on Insecure Season 3 on our 4th episode, and I loved working with her. She did one of our most romantic episodes, I'd say, and just her point of view, her specificity, her direction, I just really vibed with her. It was this beautiful black romance. I just had so much nostalgia reading it of just the yesteryear of black romantic movies that I grew up on.
And you have LAKEITH.
I'm wondering if it's not too early in the night to kiss you.
He plays a journalist, but he's violating a couple of journalistic ethics, I want to say.
He sure is.
What was so great about working with him?
I call him endearingly weird because he's just so, he's in the zone and he really, you can tell he has fun doing what he does.
Yeah.
And he's very focused and his eyes just tell so many stories. Like you can get so much from his eyes alone. And he's fearless. He's just not afraid to go for it or to be embarrassed and to be himself. And I think that's what makes him so charming and such a gift to work with.
Yeah.
You got your head down like you pray.
Because I might need to.
What would you pray for?
You're also in another romantic movie, but this one very different in tone, I want to say.
100%.
Yeah, The Lovebirds with Kumail Nanjiani.
I love you.
Especially with these two leading men, how do you hope these movies evolve who can tell love stories? The pairings that we get to see.
I mean, I hope people just get inspired in the same way that Love and Basketball inspired me to want to create and tell stories.
Yeah.
Photograph is, like you said, a very different genre. It's more romantic drama, and The Lovebirds is more romantic comedy mystery, starring a black female and Pakistani male as leads. And I don't know that I've seen that pairing in that way.
I don't think I've seen that before.
Ever. Like I think about Denzel in Mississippi Masala, and even that, still a different pairing gender-wise. So it's just like, every time there's an interracial romance, it feels like it centers whiteness, and it doesn't have to.
Because it doesn't in real life.
Yeah,
like,
not at all.
Spoiler, everybody.
Yes,
like,
just so if you didn't know, there are people who don't procreate with just white people.
Thank you for informing everybody.
Yeah, I just thought they needed to know.
Yeah.
Make sure you get my skirt because it really fits my figure. Oh.
Insecure Season 4, I'm so excited that this is coming back, finally. Insecure fans they have opinions.
They do.
Yeah.
So many opinions, god dang.
And I want to talk a little bit about Season 3. One of the points that people picked on though was Nathan. It touched on mental health and didn't go maybe as deep as some would have liked. Have you heard this criticism?
We knew that we wanted to end the season with kind of that revelation, and we knew that the following season we wanted to go into it just a little bit more, and so that was something that we touched on just because she had this really big connection with this guy, and then he disappears, and I think that was the more central story, because I think for Issa, she has depended on men and I think people to stand on and to define her in many ways, and we haven't seen her really be on her own without the dependence of them. And I think in meeting him, she needed to lose him to realize, I don't think I need you, and that is, you know, and then when he eventually comes back and tells her he was feeling this way, he didn't necessarily have the words to communicate what he was going through. And so that was something that we wanted to ground. We didn't want it to be this big plot twist of just like, hey, I need to tell you this. We wanted to have it build gradually so that you're kind of going on this journey with him.
Will LAWRENCEHIVE be activated? this season?
LAWRENCEHIVE will for sure be activated this season. So much so that Jay Ellis directed an episode this season. He did a phenomenal job. What have you been up to?
Much ado has been made about when you announced Oscar nominations.
I did it. Thank you so much.
You did it.
Congratulations to those men.
I saw that with the diversity question, it was like, you were tired of having these conversations. And when I heard that, I took it as, well, yeah, because sometimes it's just a conversation. Sometimes it just feels like it's a hashtag or a talking point.
Yeah, it does feel that way. And I don't feel like it's up to me to answer those questions. It's up to, like, I'm doing the work. I'm out here. I'm, employing who I need to employ. I'm telling the stories that I need to tell. Those questions need to be asked to the powers that be. It needs to be asked to the white people who run this industry. Like, those questions need to be directly asked of them to see what they're doing and to see how much they care. If you care, then you'll make a difference. But to ask people of color constantly, like, the diversity question, it's just like, what do you want me to do about it? I'm already, I'm affected.
Right. What did you think of Joaquin Phoenix's BAFTA's acceptance speech?
I think that we send a very clear message to people of color that you're not welcome here. I think that's the message that we're sending to people that have contributed so much to our medium and our industry.
I thought it was a step in the right direction. It's just, hopefully something will be done. I think to your point, it's easy to be like, oh, I'm so glad he said something, conversation. Okay,
Well,
next,
yeah.
let's go get tacos. I think that what he did is great, so let's see if the BAFTAs take note, if there are any efforts being made behind the scenes to make sure that we're not having this conversation again next year, but it just all feels so cyclical. And stuff needs to be done at this point. I'm so tired. Yeah, like I said, I'm tired of talking. What are we doing?
Right. What's your go-to taco order since you mentioned tacos? And now that's all I can think about.
I love, I'm a really actually big burrito person.
Oh.
And I love breakfast tacos. Breakfast burritos, breakfast tacos. But I love carnitas. I love chorizo, all the pork, ground beef, actually.
My kind of girl.
All day.
Issa, it's so good to have you in. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. For more film and TV coverage, visit variety.com.